Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Booksplosion Book of the Month live show for Crooked Kingdom. What's good? I'm Jesse.
I'm Christine. And I'm Kat.
And we're Booksplosion! Hey! So, if you guys have not read Crooked Kingdom, we are going to be jumping into a spoilery discussion. So, if you haven't read this book, you're going to want to go read Six of Crows, then read this book, and then come back and watch this after it's recorded.
Give a brief, spoiler-free impression of book.
Yes.
Excellent.
Fantastic. Go read it.
Yes, we all loved Six of Crows. Like, it was one of our favorite books of that year. And this was just a fantastic follow-up to that.
Yes, for sure. A great conclusion to the duology. Yes. Yeah. Okay, so who wants to start off with their thoughts on the book?
I'll start us off.
Kat, you want to start us off? Okay,
Yeah,
Christine. Christine, start us off.
You called on Kat. She can start us off. Okay. Am I talking about spoilers now? I think so.
You can talk whatever. Yeah.
Okay. I loved this book. I listened to the audiobook and also read a lot. Like, the audiobook is 18 hours long, and I listened to it a little bit sped up, but still, for a good, 15 hours, I just sat and listened to this book because, the audiobook was amazing. This book is so good, and the audiobook performances just take it to another level. I was, completely captivated. I love that we get so much action and so much character development. That's really rare for a series to be, kind of equally plot and character driven. That's exactly what I just said in my... Your book.
Spoilers for Christine's book talk, Kat. Gosh, how dare you?
Same exact thought. But yeah, I love the characters. I love the world. I love the writing. I loved everything about this book. My only tiny little thing is that, I know there's going to be more in the Grisha world, and I know that we're going to probably see glimpses of our characters, and that's all I want. I don't need another full book following these characters, but I do want a bit of a follow-up about what, I'm not 100% satisfied to leave them completely with how I left them. I just want a little, some glimpses of what is going on, because, they're going off to do more things and live their lives, and I need a little bit more closure. But otherwise,
this story is not over. This story is not over.
Yeah, there's gonna be more in the Grishaverse. So I that's why I'm told this is still a 5-star book for me, and I'm still in love with the conclusion because it was fantastic. But I need a little bit more of a follow up on some of these characters.
Yeah, I agree with everything you just said. I could definitely go for another book, even following 2 of the characters. I really love Kaz Brecker as a character. He's so complicated and has so many layers, and he's a fantastic anti-hero that you just want to see. You just want to watch him go through life because it's so interesting. But I actually liked Crooked Kingdom better than Six of Crows, which I wasn't expecting. I really like quality format for stories, as compared to the trilogy. I'm so used to being disappointed with the last book, but I've yet to be let down by a duology with the last book. I don't know. It's just I guess easier to wrap your mind around maybe splitting the story in half rather than in 3 parts. I don't know what it is about trilogies that they always disappoint us. They take on too much in a small period of time, but why can she do this in 2 books? And it's fantastic.
You think that a trilogy would be better in that sense, but it's not necessarily.
Well, Cassandra Clare trilogies aside, every other trilogy, I feel I've been a little let down by the ending. So I don't know.
Trilogies got popular, and so they started expanding stories into trilogies when they didn't need to be trilogies. This arc was complete. The story that we started in the first book is complete, but now I'm so attached to the characters, I need more.
Yeah, but that could be a completely different arc for a new bunch.
Yeah, exactly, a spin-off companion duology kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, but I am now really wanting to read the Grisha trilogy.
You should, even though I don't know if I can call them spoilers or not. Like there's more references in this book.
Yeah, did you pick up on anything, Christine?
Oh, yeah, yes.
Okay, then. Okay.
I was like, these are definitely characters from the other books. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't know their story. So like, if they reference anything that has happened, like intricately, like, just like a reference, I'm not like really catching like.
Okay, but Chrissy, you caught the bit about Sturmhold, right?
Oh yeah, obviously. I mean, like that's what got me all excited. It's like I gotta read this.
Yeah. Okay, I have a question. Jesse, you read the Grisha trilogy more recently than I did.
Oh gosh.
Did Nina and
It's still been a while though.
Did Nina and Nikolai meet? Was there like a? Yeah, I don't remember Nina in the Grisha trilogy.
I'm putting.
Oh, I don't remember her in the Grisha trilogy.
Okay, that's what I was confused about because I was like, I don't remember her in the Grisha trilogy, but she was like.
It's been a few years since I've read the Grisha trilogy too.
Okay.
So,
You're fine, Christine. That's all.
Yeah, Christine, we're not gonna spoil anything.
I just feel like I don't know. Was Nina? I feel like we're gonna follow Nina in another story.
I know. I think that she's the one that has like the most open ending, like with her story.
Exactly.
Like, there's so much more to explore there.
Well, she just had like the beginning of Batman happen to her, and now like we see what she's gonna go after it.
I mean, also we didn't get a chapter from her perspective after that. Like we didn't get any closure from her in that sense.
Yeah.
Like that's the main character. I mean, also I'm pretty pissed that our villains got away. Like, I mean, they're not dead. They didn't like get away. But...
And Pekka Rollins is being slowly tortured. Like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jesse, you didn't share your thoughts.
Yeah, I feel like you guys covered everything that I was gonna say, but I just really like how this one. Like the first book, like you really are just kind of introduced to the characters and like they're kind of like vibing off of each other, like getting used to each other. And then this one, we like really delved deep into the characters and like I cared more about the characters in this one than I did about the plot. Like I wasn't even thinking about like our end goal here. I was just like so like loving learning about our characters and seeing them interact. So yeah, I really liked Crooked Kingdom. I don't think I liked it more than Six of Crows. I think it also though, like I didn't.
More.
You think you liked it more? I didn't. But I think part of my like reasoning for that is because like I read it during Booktubeathon and I was rushing through it and like I just didn't enjoy it as much as I would normally.
Jesse, the audiobook is so
like I'm so glad.
I mean, I guess I still loved it. I just didn't love it as much as Six of Crows.
The audiobook
like,
was
comparatively
amazing. Like, I'm so glad that I gave up reading other books and just listened to this for the last 2 days.
Actually, like, having the actors like go through like the lines and stuff, they're so good. It's so poignant. Like,
and, like them doing each other's voices, like, they're all so good.
Yeah, the accents and stuff. Like, it's so interesting. Like, sometimes I think it's only in one point of view, but like Nina had like a little bit of a Moroccan accent in like one point of view, and then like all the other ones she didn't. That was weird.
That's weird.
Yeah, like sometimes it's a little bit weird because they'll pronounce names like slightly differently.
And like Jesper, he has like a weird different voice in like one of the point of views. Did you catch that? Like, yeah.
Oh, I did. I caught a couple in one of Kaz's chapters. I caught a couple where it sounded like the lines were like recorded later or something, like at a different time. Because like his voice, I feel like it was the same person, but his voice like shifted. Like maybe he recorded based off of the arc, and then like he had to like re-record a few lines that got changed.
I only read along for like a short portion, and I like saw that some of the words were a little different.
Most of them weren't, because I was like sitting there reading along for like the entire time, and there was like a couple of lines that were different, but most of them were the same.
It was just like word shifts. Like one was like imagined instead of remembered. It was like really little things.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the accents and stuff makes such a big difference. Just having that theatricality when you're reading, it just makes it like so much more. I don't know, like
brought it to life a little more, maybe.
I see you listened to the whole thing, right? Audiobook.
Yeah.
The scene where Kaz was confronting Pekka Rollins, and like Pekka Rollins' voice acting was so good.
That's exactly what I was just thinking about. I heard that too.
Like I was just like amazed. I was like, this is intense acting. Like, oh my god,
So good. I was just like seeing the play like right in front of me.
yeah.
So fantastic. That's like one of the strongest scenes of the book for me. I
Yeah,
like
for sure, because of the voice acting primarily. Like it was.
I mean, like obviously it's written well, or else like it wouldn't go on like that. But it was fantastic. Like Pekka Rollins, man. And just I don't know, it was just so chilling, like the way we ended the book on a Pekka Rollins chapter. Like I really like.
Yeah.
It just made it like it left you wanting more, and that's what you want.
Definitely. All right, are we ready for some questions?
Yeah.
All right, this one's an easy one. Favorite point of view in Crooked Kingdom?
I think Inej is my favorite point of view.
Huh.
Yeah.
This is really hard. I'm leaning toward Jesper or Nina because they were they were fun and more sassy than the others. Like most of them are pretty serious, but like Jasper and Nina were funnier. But I mean, you see their jokes in other people's perspectives too. So
yeah,
I really liked Jesper's arc in this. Like I feel like Jesper had a nice story arc.
I really love Matthias's arc. Like I think I would set him as number 2. Like Inej is my first favorite, and then Matthias in this book. I just feel like we got so much insight into him, and it was just so nice to see him kind of developing and like realizing his strengths and weaknesses, and like seeing his country in like a clearer light, and like I thought it was really interesting. Inej,
I really liked.
cool. Like, sorry, go ahead.
It's okay. I was just gonna say I really liked Nina's, and then I think also beside hers, I liked Wyland's the best too.
Yeah, I liked Wyland's too.
Yeah, he just had like a really interesting story throughout it.
Wyland, like his voice was the worst actor. I feel like, and that like kind of set me off.
It made you not like him.
No, I did not like him. It's just like his chapters weren't as like enticing to me. So I was like, this actor isn't as good. But like also his backstory was like the least exciting for me.
Really?
Yeah, Wyland. I mean, like it was upsetting, but I felt like it went on for longer than I wanted it to because I was like, I get it.
His dad tried to have him killed.
I know. You know, it was more of his mom's section. Like
that section was really interesting as well.
It was interesting. It was like boring compared to the
what? I thought it was so interesting.
Yeah, I like the Wyland story. I was actually kind of disappointed with Matthias's story arc because I felt like it wasn't completely fulfilled. Like the way he was so worried about Nina, and I don't know. I was like, I like that he died because like,
I love that he died.
It was like we needed a casualty. Like we needed. To suffer some losses, like what Jesper was like thinking at the end. Like they'd been through so many close calls. Like it was only a matter of time before they had something. But I'm still like, I mean, it works because that's how life sometimes is. I'm so frustrated that like that's how he went out, and that they don't know what happened still.
Yeah.
Like, they never found out what happened. They don't know who killed. Oh.
It's so frustrating because, like, we know, but, like, they'll never know what happened.
That's going to be another thing that's fueling Nina in the future, too.
Yeah.
She doesn't know what happened.
So she's going to want to... I think that is, like, the kicking off point for the next series that we're going to get, because he was all about, like, you know, he was raised to believe this way. He... you know, was told it was the right way, and he learned that it wasn't. And like, he was trying to talk the kid down, and he's like, you're still young, like you can be saved. So I think that she's gonna like continue his mission and try to like bring peace and like, yeah.
I just like felt like all of a sudden I knew him in this book. He and Nina's scenes were fantastic. Like they were all so much fun.
Their banter between each other was so good.
So good. And like you really see like how hard it's been for him with Nina like off the drug. You know, like all the stuff is just really devastating, and he's so strong about it, which is just so nice to see. And just like I don't know, I really wanted them to go do change the world together, and they were like all about it, and it was just very sad.
Yeah. So sad. Okay, this next question is, what was your favorite plot twist in the story?
I feel like there were like any twists as much as like cons.
Yeah, I mean, there were still like some surprises.
I think like Wyland's mom, that was a plot twist. I didn't see that coming at all.
I didn't see that coming.
It didn't feel like a twist to me. It just felt like something in his past. I wasn't like, oh my god.
I was like, oh my gosh.
So surprising, which I think that was kind of barely introduced here. So I feel like we're definitely going to get more of that. I mean, like Nina and what was his name? Kuei. They like went off together. But the shoe people that were like steampunky angel robots. Like,
okay, no, that was like a line setting up for a new series.
Yeah, because we didn't get like any closure with that at all.
Yeah, and that was the opening chapter here, so I thought that was going to play like a much larger part.
Yeah, I same.
she's planting seeds for the next series.
Yeah, that's the thing that's gonna have to be addressed in another book. Yeah. Do you have another question? Check what.
I try.
Let's get Twitter up. Let's get Twitterous. Wait, what is that?
Did any parts make you guys cry?
Yeah. Are you kidding?
Well, Christine, you're a book crier. You cry over many a book.
That
doesn't mean that that's valid.
I didn't like full on cry, but I definitely got teary eyed reading some parts. For sure.
I full on cried.
Did you? That's surprising because you never like hardly cry.
But it wasn't the sad parts. It was the part with Inej and her family.
Oh my gosh, that part!
I cried at that part.
How could you not get feel something?
Sobbing.
I was crying even before that. As soon as he showed her like the little boat and he was like touching her hand, and then all of a sudden her parents were there, and I was like,
yeah, I was like getting emotional when he got her the boat, and like he wasn't wearing his gloves.
Yeah.
And then like her parents showed up, and I just lost it. I couldn't.
Yeah, and like the when you hear her being like, Mama, Papa, and the actress is so good. It's just like so sweet. But the other parts when I cried, is that the only part you cried, Kat?
Yes, although I did get really teary at the part where Inej and Kaz first had that little talk, and she was kind of like, he almost broke my leg. I didn't know if you were gonna come for me, and he's like, I would always come for you. Like I would crawl to you if I had to. I was just like, oh.
I didn't cry then, but I was like, that was nice. When I cried, I mean, when Matthias died, and Nina was just like so devastated. That's what made me cry. And also because like I had just like started to love Matthias, and like now he's and then I cried. I was just like, when that Pekka Rollins thing was happening and he was so desperate and his kid was, oh God, that's when I was crying. I was like, no, just tell him.
You were crying for Pekka Rollins?
Yeah, it's like, wait, why?
Such a fantastic scene. Like all of a sudden, like they had this 180 and like all of a sudden he's the villain. Kaz is like the villain. Like this is bad. And we're here, like, always on Kaz's side, but suddenly I was like, no, this is wrong. Like, tell Pekka Rollins where his kid is.
I mean, that's the thing that you can immediately sympathize once, because, like, even though Pekka Rollins is this villain, it's like, it's his child, it's his son, and, like, you could see the fear in his, like, face and what he was saying. Like, it wasn't just fear for his legacy. Like, he was legit concerned about, like, his child. Which was like a redeeming point for him. So I wasn't like,
because he's still human.
Like humanized him in that.
Yeah. So I think that was so that we didn't have to kill him. Like, as long as he goes the F away, like everything's fine.
Also, part of what made the book so fantastic. Like the villains have three-dimensional characters, and it just brings his humanity right back so quickly in that moment. It's like, oh yeah, he's not just like a villain kind of with his money.
Yeah.
His life.
For sure. This next question, best ships in order.
I mean, Kaz and Nick are my #1 ship, just because they have so many issues.
Yeah, that is.
Who are you?
Yeah, I loved Jesper and Wylan though.
I did too.
I know. I'm so glad they got a happy ending too.
Yeah, and they're
so
really
happy.
skating. Like I was the happiest with how they ended. Like I'm
Yeah.
fine. We don't need to follow up on them except maybe a glimpse. But like Nina, her story is not over. Like
Right.
Kaz and Nej are gonna like sail around the world and take care of bad people. Like I love it. But Wylan and Jesper, I love them together. I love that scene where Jesper kissed Kuma.
Oh my gosh. And then Wiley just like walks in, he's like,
I was so mortified for him. Like, oh my god, this is so embarrassing. But like, see, when I read stuff, like the people or watch anything, the people who are like bound to get together, like I don't feel like I need to ship them because I'm like, they're gonna happen and it's gonna be great. But like, it's the people who are like, oh, it's such a struggle bus to get them together that I'm like, oh, I'm shipping them the hardest. So like, Wylan and Jesper, I feel like they had plausibly like the most potential to have a happy ending.
Yeah, no, totally.
So like, I was just like along for the ride, enjoying them.
See, that was for me the most enjoyable ship because they didn't have a lot of like angst between them or like many barriers between the relationship. Like they had plenty of issues to work through, but like the relationship was fine. Whereas like Kaz and Nej, like they've been through so much terrible stuff. Like they have a lot to overcome personally before they can like be happy together. But they're doing it and I love it.
Hearing about Nej though in the menagerie, like in detail, like that was mortifying. And hearing about Kaz's like struggle like with his like mental health and all that, it was just like it made me feel so much for him to hear that, because you don't see that. We haven't seen that really like vulnerable side of him like explained as much. And my heart
my heart, my feels. I forgot to mention this, guys. We were taking questions on Twitter using the hashtag Booksplosion. So go ask us questions on Twitter. This next question is thoughts on Jesper's powers.
I'm so excited. They're so cool.
Yep. Wait.
Yeah, I thought it was so interesting that like he has been using his powers this whole time and he didn't even like realize it, kind of. Just like how he's such a good shot because his mom was a Grisha, or what do they call them, Zoya, and she taught him how to shoot.
Yeah. Okay. What was so interesting to me about all this too was when they were talking about how if a Grisha doesn't use their powers, they get sick. And Jesper was like, I'm not sick. Like, I'm so energetic. And then it was like, okay, he's been using it. But like, I love that aspect of it because so often in fantasy, we see when people use their powers, they get like really exhausted and worn out. But it's like the complete opposite. Like when Nina uses her powers, all of a sudden she's like, wow, it feels so much better. It's like so nice.
Sorry, trying to find another question. This
have
person.
one. Oh, you
Okay.
have
Go ahead.
Okay. If you could take the squad and put them in another book universe, what would it be and who would you want them to meet?
Ooh, that's a good question. Looking at all my books now.
I have to take a look at what's happening behind me.
It would be cool if they were dropped into the Lunar Chronicles and
I was just gonna say that. It's the first series I saw.
I
like squad versus squad.
yeah, this squad and like seeing them interact with those characters and like con them into something. I think some of them would make easy marks over there.
Oh yeah. They'd try to con Cress and Thorn would get so mad.
Yeah, they'd definitely con Kai like out of the crown or something.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
New Beijing belongs to the dregs now.
Cinder's like, hold on. I see what's going on here.
Somebody write this fan fiction now, please.
Like Imagine like Thorn and Casbreaker. Like Kaz is so serious, but like Thorn is like, I would say, his counterpart in this book. It'd be so funny.
See, I kind of want them to hang out with like the characters of the Grisha trilogy. Like go back to.
That's a plausible possibility.
Yeah, I know. But like I wanted to see more of Kaz and Strumhold, Nikolai. Like I wanted to see.
Yeah.
Just because I love Nikolai too, so
I know Nikolai is the best.
Like
if you're gonna read the Grisha trilogy,
I was screaming. I was like, ah!
He's like the only reason that you should read the Grisha trilogy, in my opinion, just for Nikolai alone.
Yeah, no, I will co-sign that.
Okay. Somebody asks, they've asked this a lot, so I'll just ask it. Am I the only one to think book 1 and 2 plots should have been flipped? Conning a city, then a prison/nation. You guys' thoughts on that?
I don't know. I thought it was better how it was because it escalated. Like, you know, they were going from a heist to like the entire, like, what's his name? Van Eck, who had like the entire like political side of the city like working for him, like against the crows. I don't know. I think it was good how it was.
Yeah, I feel like we had to go to Ferda to get an idea of what the other nation is like. I feel like our worldview was expanded in such a clear way in this book because we had that experience, and we like knew. All of a sudden, I feel like I just understood the map. Whereas in the first one, I feel like it was just kind of building the traces of it. You needed that understanding to really gain like the perspective of all these different nations coming to bid on this one person.
Also, we wouldn't have the context of like the political relationships between other countries. Like we wouldn't know why like Fjerda and Ravka are like so like in war against each other and like how much how do you say it? Fjerda?
Fjerda?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yes,
yeah. So yeah, like I feel like we needed the context of the first book and we needed to like go out and explore the world a little bit before we came back to stay like just in the city, basically. Yeah. And like how the world played into the city.
Yeah, it like gave you that perspective you needed to really like get the oomph of what's happening. But yeah, I don't think it wouldn't have worked obviously because we had to steal the guy. That's what this is all about. Like
also I feel like we needed the heist first for them to like form the crew and form their relationships before it was like them in it together. Like otherwise the merchants come down on Kaz and everyone else pieces out because they don't care. They have no investment.
Yeah, like we're invested in the characters because we spend that whole book really just on that one heist. And well, in this book, we've got lots of little different heists happening to get everything in line. Like you need to know what they do. And there we're like really planning like this person's the chemist, this person's the this, and like we got it down.
This person asks thoughts about Alice. I loved her.
It's interesting.
She brought some like comedy to it, I feel like.
Yeah, this
singing
about her singing all the time.
Yes.
Yeah. I was just like, stop. No. She was like the trophy wife, but I mean, it's not.
I mean, like, she was fine. Like, I didn't have any strong feelings about her one way or another.
I had no strong feelings. I mean, I like that she wasn't like mean and like annoying. She was just like kind of silly. Like they call her like, you know, she's just silly. She didn't mean to like be here. She just got caught up in this.
If you could be any character from this duology, who would you choose to be and why?
Oh my gosh. Well, like, do we have to live their lives?
I know that's the thing.
I would pick a Nej because she is so cool.
But would you have to go through like the things that she's been through?
I don't know, like, like horrible shit. Would have picked
know.
because he has the least shit, or like Wylan was trying.
I was gonna say Jesper just because he has like the easiest time, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, like if you want, if we're talking like their abilities and stuff, I would pick aNej.
Can I choose Nikolai?
No,
Does that count? He's in this book. That counts.
he's part of the crew. Pick a 6 of crows.
I guess Nina, because she eats a lot and I eat a lot, so.
Nina's going through some shit. I don't.
But she also is going through. They're all going through crap. Nobody's good.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like they all have. They got issues.
I mean, by the end of it, Wyland's got it good. He's got like all
What is
the.
Jesper? Like Jesper has a
Yeah,
great.
Jesper and Wyland, they've got it good. I don't know though. Okay, which cover is your favorite between Crooked Kingdom and Six of Crows?
They're both really good. I think
Yeah, they're both beautiful.
it's like a little brighter. I like it.
I don't know. I like Six of Crows because it's not brighter.
I like the gold toads.
I do like the red though. I like that.
Yeah, I just really like the design of
Sorry.
crows in general. Like, what fantastic book designing.
Yeah, no, it's a really nicely. I mean, they're both excellent covers.
Yeah. Do you think
If you could have. Oh, sorry, what?
Go ahead.
If you could have a backstory series on any of the characters, which one would you want?
A backstory? Not a
Yeah.
front story?
Well, I mean, like their story as a series.
I want stories now. I feel like I got enough back.
Yeah, I feel like we know these characters very well now because both are so like interspersed with history.
Yeah.
True.
I mean, I guess Pekka Rollins if I had to choose.
Oh, interesting. I was gonna say Matthias.
Matthias.
Because like he did have like a longer military history, and even though we did get to see a little bit of that, like more in the first book, I feel like we could delve into another story, another like,
Or like maybe like
like
watching Matthias and Nina that when their whole courtship
the full story of them. Yeah.
story of them. And what was I just gonna say? Oh, or even like what turned Madame Helene into like the bitch that she is.
Oh yeah. Or what turned Pekka Rollins into that? Like, the fact that he's conning these little children out of their money, and like he doesn't even remember Jordy's name. He doesn't even remember the specifics because he ruined so many people's lives. Like, it's beyond just trying to find an easy mark and like set up a good life for yourself. Like, he was maliciously doing that.
Let's see.
Struggling to find questions.
Well, I saw one that was like, do you think this is your favorite heist novel? And I don't think it's my favorite heist novel. It's not really, this doesn't feel like a heist novel so much as like a crew sort of a novel.
Yeah.
I don't, like the first one felt like a heist novel.
I mean, it still had a lot of the heisty elements, particularly around the midpoint when they were like all splitting up and going like into different areas to like do their things. But yeah, it didn't feel as heisty.
Yeah.
What's your favorite heist novel? Not Six.
I feel like Mistborn is
I can only like that's the only other one that I can think of that's a
Yeah, and that's the thing is like this gave me like Mistborn vibes still, like the same way that the first book did. Just because you have like the squad and they're planning and like they're in the city and they're hiding and stuff. It just had Mistborn. I don't know. I loved Mistborn. I loved this series. So good thing.
I feel like there's more of a friendship between these people because they're all the same age. In Mistborn, we had like such a crew of like all different people, so it felt like more like a technical like we're doing a heist. You know, these are people are like they're a gang. You know, they run the city, so they're always together. So it's different. It's a different dynamic.
These are a bunch of minors. Like they're not even 18 yet. Like Matthias is like 18.
I know. It's like so weird to think about. Like, and it's just like what 16, 17.
There's this one line where she's like, and where they like do so, like cover her in darkness, and she's like, it was like she was 14 all over again, and I was like, okay, that was last year. Like, like it just happened to you.
So young.
This is a question that Kat and I could probably only answer, but who would win in a Kaz Darkling showdown?
The Darkling?
I know, I was like, the Darkling would just snap on him. Completely.
Like, the Darkling is a Grisha, and Kaz is not. Even though Kaz is, like, very talented and cunning, he's not a Grisha. Like, the Darkling was, like, the most powerful Grisha in 100 years. Like, he got this. I wish he didn't, but he got this.
Right.
Okay. Let's see. Which characters do you identify the most with and why?
Ooh. It's a hard one.
I found myself like weirdly identifying with Kaz and his like spells. I don't know. It's just like he was explaining it so well when you're like trying to like overcome something and you think you can do it because you're strong and you can do it. Like you can overcome it, and then like it just overcomes you anyway, and it's the most frustrating thing when that happens. Like when you like almost passed out, and like that's like how I feel when I'm like trying to watch something that's gonna make me faint or do something that makes me faint, and I can't do it no matter how hard I try. Like sometimes I can, but like I was just like, oh, I feel so bad for you because like touching stuff like that triggers it. That's horrifying.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know.
Think.
I want to say like Nina or Jesper because they're the ones who are like making jokes and like don't seem to be taking things super seriously, and like that's me.
I have no idea. I'm sorry. I don't have an answer for this one.
Also, Jesper is in strong denial about his flaws, and that is also me. Jesse, you don't have one?
No.
Let's see. Would you date any of the characters? Matthias, maybe.
Yeah. I mean,
like a bucket full of worms over there.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it depends on, am I in this world? Am I living a life as like a citizen of one of these nations? Like, or am I me?
Right. Should we sort the characters into Hogwarts houses?
Okay. Kaz is
Well, let's do that.
Okay, Kaz is the most Slytherin person I've ever read about.
Yep. Inej.
Inej feels like she could be a Ravenclaw, or she could be. I think she's more of a Ravenclaw because she hits in the shadows more than like the Gryffindors like to be. Like,
yeah, I bet like she's very brave. Well,
yeah, you know what? She also has that like showmanship aspect of her though that he was talking about. Your tell is like your performance, and that is just really interesting to me.
You know, I think she's Gryffindor. Yeah, because you don't have to be like charge in to be Gryffindor. Like she's still bold. Like the way at the very end,
to stop.
He sneaks into Pekka Rollins' place and like makes the first cut to remove his heart. Like,
yeah, no, I mean,
he has a flair for the dramatic. Okay.
I remember seeing when like Cass goes back to the slot and he's like, "Don't follow me," and she's like, "I'm going anyway." That's such a Gryffindor. Nina. I mean, like she has Gryffindor qualities, but she might be a Ravenclaw. She's like really smart.
I could see her being a Ravenclaw more than a Gryffindor. Yeah.
Yeah, I think. And then Matthias is Hufflepuff. I think he's so loyal. Like it's ridiculous.
Yeah, no, he's so puffy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Loyal.
He like made that oath to Nina, so.
Yeah, and like, he will not break it. Like
he's so loyal. Like the whole part, like so much trouble in the first book to get him to like go work against his nation that had like betrayed him. So like,
yeah, he's a boss.
Yeah,
it's so weird to think of him as a Hufflepuff though. He's like he's a
strong puff.
Yeah.
And then Wylan, he might be a Ravenclaw.
I think he is.
Yeah, I would see him as that.
Yeah.
And then
he's very smart and he does value intelligence a lot, and he feels really bad that like he can't read. He thinks it's like a huge character flaw, and it's like plenty of people can't, like in this world, like so many people can't, like you're fine, dude. You're very smart in other ways.
Yeah. And then Jesper feels like a Gryffindor to me. I don't know. Or a Slytherin.
I was gonna say Slytherin.
Yeah, he is like really like
He's pretty showy.
Joey. That's what I'm getting.
He's like a Slytherin and he's like one of those high.
Oh.
And he's like, I'm never not that brave. Like he still is like, we could just walk away. Like
yeah, he's a Slytherin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that works.
Hmm.
Pekka's definitely a Slytherin.
So is Van Eck. Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Do you think the books would make a good TV show or movie? Which would you rather see? I know that Lee Bardugo prefers TV show.
Yeah,
I know that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think a TV show would be nice because then we could really have like different episodes and like the series arcs and stuff. But I think these would make, at least the first one would make a good movie. Because it does have like the whole like big heist, like pretty linear plot aside from the backstories. But
we do like, I mean, like the way Lee writes suits itself better to TV show, I think, because of like the tangent she goes on. They're like exotic.
See, my thing is that I always want it to be a TV show, but like an ahead of time set miniseries. Like I want like 12 episodes for this book, and that's it. Like don't try to expand it. Don't try to Shadowhunters this. Like just
Netflix.
Yes, a Netflix series, like 13 Reasons Why for this. Like that would be
perfect.
Yeah, that would be the best. Or a Hulu series. They're doing pretty good with Handmaid's Tale, right?
Yeah. Oh my god. Yes. Fantastic. What do you think of Nina's new powers?
Ooh, scary at first.
They're creepy.
But also really interesting. Like that's why we need we need some kind of continuation with Nina and Kuei and like what's going on with like she's one of the only survivors of Judah Perem. Like this Judah Perem like crisis is like just paused for now, but it's not yet averted. Like someone else is gonna discover the recipe for it and recreate it, and hopefully they're working on a cure in Ravka. But we need a follow-up.
Yeah, it's kind of inverted her powers, which is super interesting in itself. I feel like she needs to be studied because this is a whole new thing. Okay, when they kept saying like, oh, he's an Inferni, like the first thing I think is like, oh, he can control dead people. So like that kept confusing me because like that's the fire people, right?
Yeah.
And, like when they were in the not in the morgue, they were in the graveyard. He's like, you're an Inferni. I was like, oh my god, he has all these dead bodies around him to use. Because of Harry Potter, but like that's her ability, and it's kind of like
now. I wonder, like, she was a heartrender, so she worked on like healing and stuff, and like helping live bodies, and now she can control dead bodies. So how would other Grisha's abilities like
flip around
change with the Judah Perem?
Yeah, the storm people would be interesting. Like they control like the air,
controlling weather. Like
how would that flip?
Do you control the opposite weather, or
or to be like a void? I don't know. Like, could you create some sort of void?
Oh man,
I don't know. But
that's gonna be in the next series.
Her power's kind of like Nico. Or like the kid who brings dead stuff back to life and Peculiar, except like creepy dead stuff. You know, she could like use a heart. Oh my god, I loved how she they faked the Black Plague. Like that was creepy.
Oh yeah, and she did it in all of Pekka Rollins' businesses.
And like the way she did it, like as they touched each other, oh my god, it was horrifying. Like, can you imagine being in there? Like,
And after like the city had been wrecked by this plague 7 years before, like no wonder they have like plague sirens and everyone freaked out and like scattered.
Genius move. I was like, what did they do when those sirens went off? Because we don't know yet. Like you don't know people in the morgue, and like it's so weird.
Do you think Nina could try to bring back Matthias? Somebody asked.
She did.
Kind of try. Like,
Yeah.
It doesn't work like that. I think she reanimates. She doesn't bring him back.
Right.
yeah. I don't know. When he opened his eyes again and they were black, and then she had to like let him go. Like that felt like some resurrection crap right there. Like
Some demon crap.
yeah, like it wasn't gonna be actual, and like she didn't follow through with that. So I don't think she's going to attempt it again. Like she seems to have like made peace that like this is the world she lives in. Sometimes people she loves die.
Oh, wait a minute. You know what that kind of sounds like? If there's another Corporaki that got reversed, they could have a dead army. That sounds like TMI from.
Oh yeah, I know.
I don't know what's going on with Rothka and like how they could use this, so I definitely need to read that. And then like, cause
Yeah, I want you to read the Grisha trilogy just so you have like the context of Ravka and like how their life is, because it is very different. Like, and the Grisha are like military and they're like very respected, and like everyone like reveres them. Like they are
like all that sense. And like I'm from the outskirts, like just taking it from here. But like I'm just really interested to know like all the details of the workings, because then you can really theorize more accurately about what's going to happen from here.
Should we discuss our next Booksplosion book of the month?
Yeah, we should discuss, I think, the next like two after
Yes.
we have the whole
August and September.
and November.
Yeah.
Where are my X's?
August. We know you have all the way through November, so we have lots to show.
Yeah,
I
I don't
don't
have
have
any
any.
here with me.
I
Sorry.
don't either, so Christine's gonna have to do
Christine, walk us through it. Give us the spiel.
Here we go. So for August, we are doing Little Monsters by Cara Thomas. I believe it came out this Tuesday, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so it's out in the wild now. Really excited about it. It's about a girl who moves to a new town. She makes some friends, and then all of a sudden, like, she's not invited to this huge party that her friends are throwing, and then one friend doesn't return from the party. So the assumption is that she died, and it kind of flips the small town vibe upside down because there's a whole investigation, and it all is giving me Riverdale vibes.
Yeah, the Riverdale vibes.
Hardcore Riverdale vibes, and that was so entertaining. So I'm really excited to dive into this. And then for September, we are doing Alexander Bracken's new book, The Tale of Prosper Redding. Where is it?
Yes.
I have an arc.
There it is. Kitten has it.
Shiny.
This isn't the finished cover though, so.
Yeah, the finished cover is different. But this is the middle. Have we read a middle grade book this year?
No, so it's exciting.
No.
Yeah. And it's an Alex Bracken book, so
Bracken, so I'm really excited. Go ahead.
we did Wayfair in January, so another Alex book.
Okay, Kat, do you know what this is about? Do you want to give a spiel?
Okay, it's about how did I describe this before?
Yeah, it was taken over by a demon, right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
about a boy whose like great something grandfather made a deal with a demon, and now that demon is, calling in that deal, and he happens to be possessing a boy named Prosper Redding. And Prosper has to figure out how to break his great grandfather's curse and get this demon out of him, all while the demon is like just having a grand old time being inside of it, possessing him, and like messing up his life.
Very exciting because Alex only writes like amazing books. So, and then in September we are
October. This is September.
Oh yeah. Okay. In October we are doing a contemporary called The Short History of the Girl Next Door. Which, oh my God, I can't remember the synopsis at this second because I read it so long ago, but I remember it was like supposed to be funny and like a really fun read. It had great Goodreads reviews. Let me look it up. Do you guys have it?
Let's see. It's A Short History of the Girl Next Door by Jared Reck. Let's see. I need to get it. It's a debut novel. I'm trying to make my page load fast.
Yeah, we looked this up ages ago.
We've been planning, you guys.
Okay. Are you stealing Natasha's end screen?
I started to. La, 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 la.
Okay, so 15-year-old Matt Wainwright is in turmoil. He can't tell his lifelong best friend Tabby how he really feels about her. Oh, okay. His promising basketball skills are being overshadowed by his attitude on the court. The only place he feels normal is English class. He can express his inner thoughts in quirky poems. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, it's going to be a contemporary that's really funny and cute.
Yeah, it's like a contemporary, coming of age, unrequited love, all that good stuff.
And it has a 4.33 on
Goodreads.
On Goodreads, which is fantastic. Let's see. And then November.
November.
We're doing the third Magnus Chase book, The Shape of the Dead. So
we're very excited about this one because we loved the first two Magnus books, and this is the finale of that series.
Yeah.
And we're doing it in November, even though the book comes out in October. So you guys have time to like catch up on the series if you need to. Read books 1 and 2 and be ready for book 3. Yeah.
So good. And we're gonna be on a ship, like on the water, and like, you know.
And things are gonna go down.
Oh yeah. I'm really excited because I just read the 2 Apollo books, so I'm like, I'm all caught up on Rick Riordan. I'm ready for his new book.
I'm so excited to read the new Apollo book. I'm gonna read that next.
Oh yeah, you haven't read Dark Prophecy yet.
Yeah, it's so nice coming back to a Rick book. Like, you forget that they're like so much fun until you start reading them again, and like, this is the best.
Yeah, no, literally, like, I was just reading the Apollo books and I was just like giggling on every page. I was just like, it's so funny. It's so funny.
Okay.
Right.
So that's our fall lineup.
Why not? Should we go through it one more time really quick?
Yeah, one more time.
Okay. August. Little Monsters by Cara Thomas. Someone do.
September. The Dreadful Tale of Prosper Redding by Alexander Bracken. And this is out on September 5th.
October. We have A Short History of the Girl Next Door by Jared Reck.
And this is out on September 26th.
Mm-hmm. We'll be hauling it and stuff as soon as we have an actual copy so you can see what it looks like.
This is just like a preliminary announcement. Like, we're going to be talking about all these books in much more detail.
And then November,
Magnus Chase!
That comes out in early October. I want to say October 5th or 6th. I don't know which one of those is the Tuesday, but it's one of them.
Tuesday.
Yeah, the Tuesday.
Cool.
Yeah, that's our fall lineup. We really hope you guys are excited to join us with some of our future read-alongs in the coming months. And thank you so much for joining us on this one.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us for the Crooked Kingdom live show. That's it, guys. I'm Jesse.
I'm Christine.
I'm Kat.
And this has been Booksplosion's live show. Bye.